The new community day is not announced yet, but at least while I'm talking about it, but there was something found in the code which was the sound effects for the move Boomburst. Boomburst is a very interesting move, and it kind of most likely hints towards the next community day for the February. Boomburst is a move that got introduced, I think, in Generation 6 actually. But yeah, actually Generation 6 here, and a lot of Pokemon can learn it, mainly by breeding here as well. Talo is actually one of the coolest Pokemon that has it, like the evolution of it is really good with it, but never mind. Only a few Pokemon can really learn from level up at this stage there, and here one of them is Exploud and the other one is NiRiain. Like, a lot of people thought NiRiain first because it just got added in Generation 6, and NiRiain is a Generation 6 Pokemon. But in my opinion, it's way more likely that it's going to be Exploud. Like, I would be really surprised if we get NiRiain Community Day already in February. It's very likely to be Exploud or like Whismur, where we already have the shiny off, and we already are going to have the Horn Tour coming up at the end of the month. The thing is, last year we had like the Johto tour, and we had in February a Johto Pokemon with a Jumpluff available as a community day. So it does make sense that this story repeats. Not really that crazy strong Pokemon from the generation that has 3 stages of an evolution, gets a new move on like a community day just before the Johto or Horn tour here. So it's basically, in my opinion, nearly clear that it's going to be Exploud here. I would be really surprised if it was anything else. So let's take a look at what Exploud can do. We don't have any stats information for it yet, so it's going to be interesting. And also let's see what Boomburst could be. Boomburst is a very strong move in the main series games, and it's mainly that strong because not a lot of Pokemon can actually learn this move and doesn't have any drawback. Usually with moves that strong, you have, for example, what you have here in Pokemon Go as well, like those side effects that like debuff yourself or something like this. But Boomburst just doesn't have it; it's just strong on its own. So I could imagine that's actually something like Leaf Storm without any debuff chance here, or like Overheat Clone without any debuff chances. Just for this meta here for this video, made it a Blast Burn clone or a Rock Wrecker clone, I think. So if I refresh it, you can see what I did with it. There we go. We're going to have now the Boomburst here as a Blast Burn clone. I would more actually expect it to be like something like either Draco Meteor or Overheat, more like Overheat without the drawbacks. I would expect to be it as a move, as it doesn't have any side effects for it, and it's a very strong move, but it's normal type, so it doesn't have any type effectiveness. Like, you won't have a super effective hit with this, so like everything you hope for a neutral hit, basically. You have like steel types, rock types, and ghost types that can resist it, but otherwise like normal types is pretty decent, but doesn't have any super effectiveness. So I think it might be even better than this one. I would expect it maybe even like Leaf Storm level, so 5 more energy, but more damage for it. Thing is with it though is that right now the moves that Exploud has in Pokemon Go as fast moves going to be Astonish, which is horrible, and Bite, which is horrible. So it doesn't matter which charge move they give it. So let's take a look at what potential fast moves this Pokemon can learn. We are here on Pokemon Showdown. If you didn't know this, like if you ever played normal Pokemon series, like you most likely know this. Here as well, Pokemon Showdown, the main site basically to play online Pokemon without needing to make your own Pokemon basically in the main series games. Very fun website, but also shows basically all the moves that it would learn from previous generations. One that I'm really hopeful of, and it's basically the only way to make this Pokemon half decent, is if it learns Counter as well from the community day. We had those community days already before, where we, for example, had the Walrein, which had Legacy Powder Snow, a move that is widely available to a lot of ice types in this game, but only is like no legacy move from the C-Day, and we have to get basically the same here with Counter from Exploud. If you don't get Counter Exploud, it's going to be basically impossible to use. There are some other fast moves available as well still, which might be interesting, like Ice Fang, Fire Fang, I think also Thunder Fang would learn. So those are available, but not really the best ones. But the thing is, which also would learn, would be the move, let's see, Rollout. Rollout it learns as well, which of course is now a new fast move as well. Or Smackdown here as well, which it would learn, but unless it gets Counter, there's basically no reason to ever play this community day. It's most likely going to be a Triple Stardust community day again, like we had before already with the Jumpluff, but I don't really think it's going to be that good unless it gets countered, really needs counter, otherwise it's going to be horrible. Let's take a look at what it can be like this. We have here the different kind of options here. Bite first, then Astonish, then Rollout, and then counter. Crunch, Boomburst, which is the best move. Otherwise you also would have actually access to the move Fire Blast, which might be interesting. Disarming Voice, most likely not that great, to be fair, but let's take a look at what this thing can do, and we will find out that, yeah, Bite is horrible, Astonish is even worse, and also Rollout wouldn't help it a lot. And if you give it no like counter, it's pretty okayish. Like, it's not crazy strong here, like it looks pretty decent, to be fair, but the thing is here that counter, like this Exploud won't have crazy good stats, so it won't be the bulkiest Pokemon with 1900. This is not really bulky, so it always only wins when it wins, it only wins like very barely there. Let me take a look at the matchup against the Stunfisk here. You would actually win still every of the matchups, but exactly here, for example, you would end up with 22 HP, which is not really a lot. So Exploud, I don't think it would be too broken with counter, that's at least my opinion. Let's take a look at the Ultra League as well to finish it off, because you cannot really use it for the Master League. Ultra League is actually fully XL, which is interesting here. It would be very decent as well if it has counter, but in my opinion, again, not too crazy. We've seen like spreads like this before. It's one of the bulkiest Pokemon, so in my opinion, unless we get counter, this community day would suck. Of course, it's not officially announced yet, but I am basically pretty sure that this is going to be the case, that we're going to get this community. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Let's see what we're actually going to get, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye!